Thank you. I actually worked for a couple of media companies for approximately 13, 14 years. And I believe that the Capitol Press Corps is critical to informing California. It's very personal for me. And I appreciate the opportunity to continue our work together. And I'm also looking forward to working with Fritz. And I'm grateful that she's going to continue to, in her leadership role. Thank you so much, Fritz, for everything that you do. And I'm really excited to be working with you. And I also want to introduce Nora Mounts. Nora Mounts is going to be focused on press needs on the district side for the North Coast, along with Carrie Lindecker. In the Capitol, really excited that Lisa Murphy is going to be continuing as the press secretary, and the legendary Dave Seebeck, longtime member of the Senate family, will also be working with us. And I just want to say thank you to these amazing individuals for your continued partnership. Lastly, I want to say thank you to Speaker Rivas. Speaker Rivas let us invade his own press room today. I'm just disappointed that he didn't provide cookies. But really, Speaker Rivas has been an incredible partner from the get-go, and I can't say enough positive words about the Speaker. I've talked too much. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and I'll turn it over to each and every one of you, and thank you again for coming today.
Mr. Pro Tem, for Californians and women who see now the three people that are at the main negotiating table, you, Speaker Rivas, and the governor, are all men. And just what is your message to the women in the legislature, women across California who just don't see themselves represented there?
100%. I think it's a really good question. Number one, what I'm honored about is receiving a unanimous vote of our Senate Democratic Caucus, and that spoke volumes. But here's what I'll say. We have made incredible strides here in California, making our legislature, the state Senate, more representative. We have more women than any other time in our state's history, more members of color now than any other time in our state's history, along with more LGBTQ members. Know that representation matters, and I will be following through with my commitment, my promise, on delivering on the values, whether it is the Women's Caucus, the LGBTQ caucus, Black caucus, the Latino caucus. I'm going to be working closely with them, and in fact, I have had meetings with the various caucuses, or will be having meetings with the various caucuses, talking about the priorities ahead. Well, it's really good to see you. Thank you so much.
Governor McGuire, after Governor Newsom released his January budget proposal almost a month ago, in one of your statements you mentioned that he should be cautious of programs such as families and seniors, and specifically I'm talking about seniors, because they make up people over 65 make up about 17% of the state population. Just want to get your thoughts about, what programs are you talking about protecting in this current budget?
It's a great question, and let's be really honest. Thank you so much. We're in a tough budget year. Here's what I'll say in what we've been doing over the past many months. Thanks to the leadership of Tony Atkins and this seamless transition, I've had the opportunity to be able to meet with our budget team for, the past 6 months. We're going to be getting into a deep dive on all programs, all funding allocations with our Senate Democratic Caucus. I am absolutely not trying to be coy with you, but I also don't want to get in front of the Senate Democratic Caucus. I will have more to report on programs, the focus of our budget, and where the Senate Democratic Caucus will be here after our budget and policy retreat. But we have a growing senior population in this state, growing needs, and what I have also seen coming from a district that has seniors, and it's one of the fastest growing demographics, there is no one-stop shop for seniors to be able to access state services. In fact, that is one of the top priorities of the California Senior Legislature. So it is a priority for me, and I, again, not trying to be coy with you, but I will be following up with you after our Senate Democratic Caucus, if that's all right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for the question.
Oh, sorry.
Please.
At the end of last session, there was a big push on trying to address this, these issues with the home insurance market, and that deal fell apart. Your constituents are obviously more affected even than most by this problem, and I'm wondering if you are planning to put your political capital toward trying to revive that effort and push something through? I know you weren't necessarily a fan of what it looked like last year, but where does that sit in your priority list as something that might come back or not?
It's a great question. Here's what I'll say. Raising rates on homeowners is not the silver bullet. Raising someone's rates on homeowners insurance isn't going to save their community or their house from a raging wildfire. I think that there is more work to do, focusing on individual home hardening, community hardening. I believe that every Californian should be able to log on to their phone and understand what their wildfire risk score is. If an individual is non-renewed, I believe that that individual insurance carrier should provide that homeowner the ability to get renewed and what that roadmap would look like. I've had several meetings on this issue. There will be more to come. Again, I am not trying to be coy with you, but I'm being super upfront. We need to have a conversation with the Democratic caucus, and that will be happening in the coming few weeks, and would love to follow up with you on that. And I'll just finish here is that, look, I come from part of the state that has been ravaged by the largest wildfires in American history. And homeowners have been devastated once, and then they're devastated again when they can't seek traditional home insurance. That crisis has now spread to the rest of the state. We have seen other states roll out the red carpet for insurance carriers looking at higher rates, and those insurance carriers still left that market. There's more work to do, and I look forward to working with my colleagues here.
So is a proposal that raises rates completely off the table for you?
Well, that deal was already made last year, and I don't think raising rates is the silver bullet. I think that there's more work to do, and I look forward to following up with you on specifics.
Mr. President Pro Tempore, congratulations and thanks for the kind words. I want to ask you, I know you spoke about homelessness. In the speech you called it, and I'm quoting, the homeless crisis appalling.
And unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
Yeah.
And so just on that note, what's the message you want to say to Californians about your take on this?
Yeah, look, I don't come from a major media market. I have communities like Weaverville and Crescent City, and Eureka, Ukiah, and Fort Bragg. And we have some of the highest rates of homelessness in the state of California per capita. We have some of the highest rates of unsheltered residents in the entire country. And I've seen firsthand the challenges for individuals who are living on the street and for the communities that are focused on this crisis. So there's a few things where I think we need to be focused on this year. Number one, we have to have a smooth rollout of CareCourt. CareCourt rolled out in initial counties this past year. The remainder of the other counties will be rolled out by December 1st. In fact, I just brought all 7 of our counties together with an entire panel of state leaders who are implementing CareCourt to have a conversation about what a successful model will look like. So number one, we need to have a smooth rollout of CareCourt. Number two, we need to continue to focus on moving residents off the streets and into permanent supportive housing. That's a commitment that the governor has, I know that the speaker has, and that's what I'm gonna have. And then number three, I think that we accomplished a lot last year, changing our conservatorship laws, changing the definitions of law to ensure that individuals can be compelled into court and into treatment. But I will tell you there is much more work to come, and I do believe that you're going to see some action in the state Senate this year on this.
Senator, can you talk about your approach to criminal justice legislation? I know in your speech you mentioned retail theft. Do you feel like Prop 47 needs to be changed? There's obviously several bills around that this year.
And I know that you are going to want to put a pin in your eye about when I say this, and I don't mean to be coy. What I need to do is I need to get into the same room with the members that I'm honored to work with each and every day. And those are the members of the Senate Democratic Caucus. We need to have a conversation about the issue of retail theft. What I will tell you is this: it is a top priority for Californians, along with the fentanyl crisis, and I do believe that you're going to see a package on retail theft and on the fentanyl crisis advance in the legislature I think we have time for one more. Fritz is about to break out
Yep.
her 2x4. I'm just gonna go right over here, please. Yeah.
Mr. President, I know you've talked about a number.
Just call me
of-
Mike, by the way, please.
I know you've talked about a number of different policy areas. I'm wondering, is any one particular policy area, what would you say is your number one priority as you go into this job? What is the issue that is top of mind for you as you enter this new role?
And you're gonna hate this answer.
Can
I
you give
think
a top three?
Hey, there we go. Look, I think that California is too big to have just one priority. I will tell you a few that are top of mind. Number one, solving the homelessness crisis that impact big communities and small in every corner of the state. Two, we need to focus on the issue of housing and making sure that young folks and working families are able to call the communities that they love home for decades to come. Three, these are in no particular order, we do need to focus on the issue of insurance. It's impacting communities large and small in Southern and Northern California. Four, we need to continue our commitment on this climate crisis. Five, I am a big believer in public education. It is the ultimate equalizer in our society. We've gone from dead last in the nation back in 2015, spending a little less than $9,000 per year, to this year we are now finally in the top 20. We can't lose that commitment and the progress that we made. So there's going to be much more to come. I'm really excited to be working with each and every one of you. I want to say thank you for your willingness to be able to come together today. And I know that we may not always agree, and you'll get frustrated at times with my answers, but what you will always have from me, and I know Zabala will call me on it if don't, is that you will always have open, honest, and blunt. And I am so incredibly grateful that you all came together, and I hope that you can come enjoy some macaroni downstairs. So,
Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Can you give us any broad spots about what you're thinking about leadership changes in the coming weeks? Are you trying to do a big shakeup? It's a tough budget year. Is there anything you can say about the factors you're considering as you make these choices?
I can say that is a great question. Thank you.
Thank you all.
So much. I really appreciate your time. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
So much. Thank you.